Today we're making a carnivore layered cake that's soft, creamy, and gently sweet, all with simple animal-based ingredients. It's a beautiful dessert for the holidays, celebrations, or any time you want something special without leaving the carnivore lifestyle. Come step into the kitchen with me and let's get started. For the cake sheet, we'll start with 6 large eggs, 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of egg white powder, 1 teaspoon of sour cream, 1/4 cup of strained cottage cheese, 1 tablespoon of unflavored gelatin, a pinch of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and optionally, raw honey can be used, as well as vanilla extract. These can be added if you practice a flex carnivore lifestyle. First, we'll preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or 175 degrees Celsius. Next, we'll separate the eggs. This recipe calls for 3 cake sheets, so we'll be repeating this process 3 times. If your oven has enough room, you can mix a larger batch and bake all 3 sheets at once. We'll start the batter by whipping the egg whites. A hand mixer or stand mixer both work well here, and a mixer will save us some time. We're aiming for stiff peaks. While the egg whites whip, we can move on to the next step for the cake batter. We'll bloom the gelatin by sprinkling 1 tablespoon of gelatin powder over 2 tablespoons of warm water. We'll then mix the egg yolks together with the sour cream, cottage cheese, melted butter, and bloom gelatin. Whenever possible, it's good to choose high-quality clean dairy and butter to keep unwanted additives to a minimum. Using well-sourced ingredients helps reduce exposure to chemical residues and heavy metals that can sometimes be found in lower-grade products. Small choices like this can make meaningful differences in how our body feels. High-quality fats also tend to taste richer and perform better in recipes like this. So when possible, choose dairy and butter from trusted, clean sources. Finally, we'll add the egg white powder and salt and mix until smooth. Right before we add in the egg whites, we'll pour in the baking soda. Baking soda is perfectly acceptable on a carnivore diet because, like salt, it's simply a mineral compound that adds structure and lift without introducing carbs or non-carnivore ingredients. Baking powder, on the other hand, contains starches and fillers from sources like corn, potato, tapioca, or rice, which is why it isn't used in strict carnivore baking. Now we'll gently fold the whipped egg whites into the egg yolk mixture, adding them in thirds. We want to take our time here and keep the batter light and airy, lifting from the bottom, and turning the bowl as you go can be helpful. The goal is to bring everything together without deflating the structure we just created. A little patience here can make all the difference in achieving a soft, delicate cake layer. Once the mixture looks mostly uniform, we're ready to pour it onto the baking sheet. For baking, we can use a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, preferably unbleached, to help reduce unnecessary chemical exposure. Whenever possible though, I like to choose platinum cured silicone bakeware instead. Platinum silicone is more stable at high temperatures, making it far less likely to release unwanted compounds into our food. Cheaper silicone molds, especially those that aren't platinum cured, contain fillers that may break down and leach when heated. Parchment paper, even unbleached varieties, can also contain coatings and residues that weaken under high heat. Platinum silicone gives us a clean, reliable, non-stick surface without those concerns. It's a simple upgrade that supports both the quality of our baking and the purity of the ingredients we work with. Once the batter is poured onto the sheet, we'll gently spread it out so it's even from edge to edge. This helps the cake bake uniformly. Before placing it in the oven, we'll give the batter a gentle jiggle to help it settle evenly. Then we'll bake it at 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes or until the surface is lightly golden. And here we have one of the cooled cake sheets, golden on the top, moist on the bottom, and a nice soft texture. From here, we'll measure the surface and divide the sheet in half. For this step, we're using a non-reactive nylon knife, which is safe to use on silicone surfaces at room temperature. And here we have all 3 cake layers stacked, each cooled and cut in half to give us 6 layers. To help create a uniform cake, we'll start by trimming the edges. Using a serrated bread knife, we'll gently cut through all the layers at once. Then we'll repeat this process on each of the 4 sides. This gives us clean, even lines and helps the layers stay neatly together. Taking a moment to square everything off makes the final presentation look polished and intentional. For the cream filling, we're going to use 2 teaspoons of gelatin, 2 cups of heavy cream, 4 tablespoons of cottage cheese, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, and these will be the basic ingredients for the filling. Optionally, flex carnivores can add a tablespoon of raw honey or a teaspoon of vanilla. We'll sprinkle the gelatin over 2 tablespoons of cold water and let it sit for about 2 minutes. Gelatin is a wonderful addition here because it supports the joints, skin, and gut health while giving our dessert structure and a smooth, stable texture. It also provides amino acids and helps strengthen connective tissue throughout the body. People find that incorporating gelatin regularly can improve digestion and promote a calm, steady energy. Now in a chilled bowl, we're going to pour in the cold, heavy cream and whip it until it begins to thicken. Now that the gelatin is bloomed, we'll add 2 more tablespoons of hot water, not boiling, and stir until the gelatin is fully dissolved and the mixture becomes clear. We'll then allow it to cool slightly before using it. Next, we'll mix in the softened cottage cheese and continue whipping until soft peaks form. And then we'll add our softened butter. Finally, we'll stream in the dissolved gelatin and continue to whip until stiff peaks. At this point, if you are a flex carnivore, you can add the raw honey and vanilla extract. Once fully mixed, refrigerate for 10 minutes to allow the mixture to firm up. Now we'll add the first layer of cake to the serving tray. This will be the base of our entire cake. We'll spread a thin, even layer of our cream filling over the top. Then we'll continue alternating cake and cream, building our layers one by one. As we go, we can press lightly on each layer to help everything settle evenly. This also helps the cream reach the edges so each slice looks clean and uniform. If we notice any areas with less filling, we can add a little extra to help keep the layers balanced. Taking a moment to check each layer as we go makes the final structure more even and polished. As we stack, we want to keep everything as level as possible so the cake stays stable. If any edges shift, we can gently nudge them back into place. We'll keep going until the layers are used, finishing with a cake sheet on top. Once the cake is assembled, we'll put it back in the fridge for 4 to 6 hours or overnight to allow the cake to fully set. And now for the final step, icing the cake. We'll pour 2 cups of heavy cream into the mixer and whip it to stiff peaks. If desired, we can add a touch of raw honey and a little vanilla extract for gentle sweetness and flavor. Once the cream is ready, we'll spread a thin layer around the cake. Taking our time here helps the cake look beautifully even from every angle. And once the icing is applied, the cake is ready to chill or serve depending on how soon it will be enjoyed. Now we'll go ahead and cut into the cake, and you'll see right away how soft and stable these layers are. As the knife moves through, the cream and the cake hold their shape beautifully without collapsing. Lifting out the first slice is always the most delicate part, but it's also the most satisfying. And here it is, a clean, even slice with all 6 layers visible. It's a simple, nourishing dessert that still feels a little special every time it's served. And that's our carnivore layered cake. Simple ingredients, beautiful texture, and such a satisfying treat to make. Thank you for spending the time in the kitchen with me. If you enjoyed this recipe, I'd love to hear what you think. Is this a cake you'd try at home, or would you add your own twist? Let me know in the comments below.